Hello, it's Training Tuesday. I'm Suzanne Castle. Today we're going to spend just a few minutes learning how to think deeper. Why do we want to think deeper? Well, you want to think deeper because when you think in a deep fashion, you're not as frantic, you make better decisions, you're able to possibility think, and you can be more creative. Doesn't that sound like something that you need to do? Good. I'm glad that you're here. Speaking of, let me know where are you watching from today. If you're watching live or hashtag replay, let me know. Say hi. Be sure and give StreamYard permission so that I can give you a shout out and I'll be checking the comments along the way. So, what do you think of when someone says deep thinking? Do you remember back a long time ago in the 80s, 90s, somewhere around in there? Saturday Night Live had a whole sketch they called Deep Thoughts with Jack Handy, right? And they were these esoteric little thoughts that were tongue in cheek and always made me laugh and smile. And every time somebody says deep thinking or becoming a better thinker, I tend to think about that particular thing. But and I think it's important because if we want to become a better thinker, honestly, it starts with our mindset. It starts with our mindset. Because one of the biggest hurdles to imagining a different way forward or thinking of a different possibility or being creative or not showing up in the same way that you've always shown up is your mindset. You know, it's been shown that negative people are less creative. And this is because they have too many things that bother them. And so you have to do levels of what is bothersome and what is really truly important and what is maybe I'm just too tired or I'm not taking care of myself. And so I'm not being a better thinker, I'm being a reactionary thinker. And so in order to free our minds, what we want to do is we want to get rid of the mindset that's not serving us and then allow our mind to surface. And we do that through a bunch of different aspects and ways and dreams and things. And so I want to spend a few minutes talking about some actionable tips because that's what this is all about. This is literally a training session where so grab a pen, grab a piece of paper because you might want to jot a few of these down. And so one way that when you're having this hurdle and you're not thinking in a way that is serving you, one way to get at this is actually write out a list. So are you a list maker? I'd love to know. Let me know in the chat if you're catching this. So are you a list maker? Hello, Lori. I'm glad to see you today. Glad that you're here. So one way is to make a list. So if you have all these thoughts in your head and you're having a hard time deciding what's first, what's second, what's third, the first thing that you want to do is make a list of all those things that are bothering you. They can be big things, they can be small things. Get them out of here, get them somewhere else, and then do something different. Don't immediately tackle your list. Maybe go take a walk, relax in a bubble bath, let your mind wander a little bit, start daydreaming. Maybe go talk to a friend, maybe get something to eat. When you're doing those things, you're giving your brain some space from the things that are bothering you, the reactionary thoughts that are building up inside of you, and you're allowing your brain to just be for a minute. Because when you're constantly bombarding it, it has a hard time helping you show up in the way that you want to show up. So we want to put them somewhere else, take a break, and then come back to the list and figure out, is this because I'm tired, because I didn't eat, because I didn't get enough sleep, because I'm not exercising, because I'm not taking care of myself? Or is it really that this is really a bothersome thing that I need to give some time and attention to? Okay, so another way to become a better thinker, to be about possibility thinking, is to make a list of people that you know that are like that you feel are creative or that always have good solutions, that might be positive people, and then go talk to these people. Get them on your calendar. Tell them, hey, I'm struggling with negativity. Hey, I'm having a hard time finding a possibility for this. Hey, I'd love for you to give me an idea about this, that, and the other. What you're doing is you're absorbing some of their energy. And at the same time, then it's going to unlock ideas for you. Think about brainstorming that we did when we were in high school or college, maybe, right? The first idea was not always what you landed with. But when you began to think about it, you're like, oh, and this. Oh, and you know what I could do next. And when you have someone on the other side of the conversation with you, that's that kind of magic that starts to play. And we really want to hack that. We want to elevate that. And you never know. They might become a partner for you. They might give you an idea you never thought of, a way forward that in your mind you just weren't able to see because again, you're bombarding your brain and you're not allowing it to show up in the best way possible. So what is another way to become a better thinker? Well, I'm a big believer in doodling. So when you're taking notes, maybe you're taking notes now, like doodle on the side. When you're watching TV, if you're finding your mind wander, like either write down what it's wondering about or make a picture. when you're doing these things, you're playing a brain game. In other words, you're allowing your brain to look for creative solutions that are outside the box of the thing that you're doing now. And when you're able to do that, detailed thinking happens. Remember, your brain is kind of like a computer, so it's constantly working on things in the background. And so you're giving your brain something to solve, like almost like a problem, like a Sudoku, like a Wordle, like a crossword puzzle. Those are also good things to do to become a deep thinker, a better thinker. But give it something to do in the background, meaning that it works on it not while you're giving attention to something else, right? But the attention to something else can't be something that requires deep thought. So it could be while you're folding laundry, or you're taking a walk, or you're listening to music. You've got to give your brain a different space in which to operate on the deep thinking problems. So these are some practices that you can start to do that. And then one of my last maybe different tips that maybe you haven't thought about is to do something out of the ordinary for you. You know, for a while, I ran a blog about 360 creative practices to try every day. And every day I would put a different practice out there. And one thing was substitute an ingredient you've never tried before in a familiar recipe and then make it. Let me know how it goes. So it could be rice instead of spaghetti noodles, right? Or you could take a class in something that you've never ever done before. For me, I'm not a great math person, so maybe I'm going to go take like a basic spreadsheet on how to do formulas. Maybe it's I've always wanted to race a car, but I don't know how. So you go a Groupon and you find one of those little racing things and you go do that. Doing something out of the ordinary for you does lots of things for you. One, it allows you to kind of live in that change maker space. And when you're doing that, you're teaching your brain that doing something different, doing something new is a good way to just be in the world, to creatively problem solve, to not do the same routine over and over. And then your brain starts to look for different possibilities in other areas of your life. Also, it generates a little fear and a little excitement in you. And that adrenaline rush can really help you possibility think other things into existence. And you might find a new possibility way of being in the world, meaning that you could find a new hobby you like. Maybe you find a different recipe that your family just raves and raves and raves about that you never would have done if you didn't just slightly alter something that was part of your norm. So consistently building into your schedule and a routine to do something out of the ordinary for you. And it might just be simply, I'm going to take the long way home from work, right? You're going to notice things differently. You're going to absorb the energy differently, and your brain will respond and it will thank you. So as you can see, if you change up your routine, your mindset will then also change. It can help you unclutter your mind. You might be trying to think too much or just have too much on your mind to think clearly. So some of the practices that I just outlined for you can help you create that space for that work to happen. And you also might find, oh, good. Thank you. Thank you, Lori, for letting me know. She says that they seem like good ideas to try. Yeah, great. I hope that you'll keep up and let me know which one you tried. And if it worked or not, it's good to have a toolbox of possibilities to figure out what might work and what not. And the other thing that you might hear some people talk about a lot is writing out problems. And I think that's a really good thing. Sometimes clearly writing out what you need to solve, to learn, create a step-by-step method, or how you're going to tackle it is a really good way. And before you know it, you might actually come up with a solution to your plan just by writing it out. I do that in somewhere relaxing that allows myself to daydream a little bit. When I stop thinking too much, then I'm able to articulate a little bit better, and I can zero in on the issue at hand. I become suddenly filled with solutions or possibilities, and it was so hard to come up with before because I just wasn't in good space to allow my brain to do that. I really know that one of the best ways, if you're feeling yourself bombarded, to become a better thinker is by taking a deep breath. So in through the nose, out through the mouth, standing up. I call it shaking your moneymaker, right? Like shake your tail feather a little bit, get some oxygen flowing. That also will help reset your brain. It'll help you relax, and it'll allow you the pleasure of what oxygen does for your body. I'm so glad that you were here with me. I also want to let you know if this kind of content jams with you, there's a whole group that's going to be talking about this over the next couple of days. I'm going to put the link in right now into the chat. And this is a women's forum, is the Powerful Women's Conference. And if you like this kind of information, you want to know more, all of the sessions are going to be recorded so that you can access them when you need them for 6 months. So it's a great deal. So you might check that out in the comments below and make that happen. It will be a wonderful opportunity to really understand what power you have and mindset, community, and wisdom. I am going to be the featured keynoter, and I'm delighted. And maybe that will work on your schedule. All that will go live on Thursday. I'm Suzanne. This was Training Tuesday. I'm glad that you're here. I'm here every Tuesday morning. I'll see you next week.